50 years ago, on February 21st, 1948, a group of racers came together in Daytona Beach, Florida, to organize the local stock car racing scene into one organization. They called it the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR. Now, 50 years later, we are still in Daytona Beach, but no longer on the beaches. Instead, we are on the 2.5-mile behemoth known as Daytona International Speedway, here to start the duels for the 39th running of the one and only Daytona 500. Hi everyone, welcome to Daytona Beach, Florida, here to kick off the 1998 season for the NR2003 Draft Series. I'm Michael Paz, and alongside me is longtime co-commentator Darien Arnsdorff. It's two duels of 28 cars each, ready to race 20 laps on 31 degrees of banking. And Darien, we have 56 entries for the Daytona 500, but only 43 spots. Tell us how to qualify for the Great American Race.
I will in just a moment here, Michael. It is so great to be back. A long off season finally comes to an end here today at Daytona. The duels are here. It is time to go. And man, it's going to be a fun one here today. So here is how you qualify. The first step is the easiest. 36 spots qualify in. So finish top 18 in your duel and you're in to the Daytona 500. The next 4 spots goes to the fastest 4 qualifiers from yesterday. And then the final 3 spots are determined by owner's points provisionals, which leads into how open qualifying is for the Daytona 500. Only 7 drivers are locked into the Daytona 500 as of right now. And they are on your screen right now. You can see them here. It is Ken Schrader, Dale Jarrett, Hermie Sadler, and Jeff Burton. Those were our top 4 from qualifying. And then our 3 drivers on owner's points are our top 3 from last season's championship: Bobby Hamilton, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon. And then there are also go homers as well. A lot of drivers who are not in at any circumstance are outside the top 36 in qualifying time. They're outside the top 35 in owner's points. So you can see we have a lot of them here today, including some like Kenny Orwood Jr. in the 9, Buckshot Jones in double 0. A lot of drivers trying to make this race. It's going to be difficult for them, especially when you don't have a fallback point. You have to race your way in, top 18 or better, and that's all you can rely on.
Yes, that is. Darien, thank you for the introduction onto some of this. There's a lot more guys as well, as you can see right there. These guys don't have any fallbacks whatsoever. They didn't have good qualifying runs. They did not have good owner's point standings, and a lot of them are a good chunk of the rookie field. Sammy Swindell, John Force, Andy Hillenberg, Lake Speed, Rick Corelli, just a couple of the names there. But there's a lot of storylines that we're going to have to follow through these first 5 races of the year, especially like those rookies that we're talking about. You see your rookies, here they are on the screen right now. They include a lot of different racing disciplines. We have Tony Stewart he is the 1997 Indy Racing League champion. John Force is a longtime NHRA Funny Car champion. And then there's guys like Blaise Alexander, who's jumping up to Winston Cup competition with just 4 starts across the Busch Series and Truck Series. In fact, 7 drivers have never made laps in the Winston Cup Series and are about to be thrown to the Hornet's Nest as their first racing experience. What can drivers do to mitigate just all of this newness to them?
There's a lot you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get acclimated very quickly to the Cup style of racing, especially at something like Daytona. It is so much different compared to almost every other discipline in the world. And even if you've run a Busch race or a truck race, you still got to be ready for anything. These cars are quick, and they are going to go quick as we are about to get the command to fire engines for the first duel at Daytona.
Drivers, start your engines!
And here we go. Engines are fired. We're about to get underway. Let's quickly go through at least the top half of our field. We got Bobby Hamilton starting on pole. This is all determined by owner's points from last year. These are all the odds, 1, 3, 5, 7, and on. It's Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Gordon, row number 1, Derek Cope, Jeff Burton, row number 2. Row number 3 is Morgan Shepherd and Dale Jarrett. Row number 4, the 14 of Jack Sprague and the 7 of Ernie Irvin. And row number 5 of the top 10, number 25 of Steve Park, and the 21 of Bobby Labonte. I'm not going to have a chance to go through the rest of the field here, but we'll introduce them to you through these 20 laps. As the pace car is ready to come off, and we're about to get things underway. Here we are, a field of 28, ready to kickstart the year. Let's go into 1998. Car still coming up to speed. Down the backstretch they go for the first time, entering turn number 3. Derek Cope already with help from the 88 of Morgan Shepherd. They've gotten past the 83 Bobby Hamilton, and the 25's into the wall.
Oh, no!
3-car wreck on lap number 1.
Oh,
Dick Trickle is involved.
No! Oh no, that's bad.
And they go
That's not how you
sliding.
want to start the season.
And the caution will come out. Lap number 1.
Oh no, I didn't even get a word in before they started wrecking, Michael.
I know. They beat you to it, Darien.
Wow, Park, Trickle, Burton, one other car. 4 cars involved. That's Dale Jarrett in the 2 as well. Man, oh man, what a way to start the year. We did not have a single... We had 1 wreck during all of last season on the plate tracks, and that was from Jeff Gordon at Talladega, I think in the 2nd Talladega race. But we start off the season with a bang, a lap 1 caution. Let's go take a look back and see what happened.
So we were just entering turn 3. Dale Jarrett tries to get 3 wide. Steve Park. They get right up to each other, and 2 cars cannot take the corner like that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if Park went up or if Jarrett went down, but either way, they just ran out of room extremely quickly, and the fact that you're racing like that on lap number 1 of a dual race where only the top 18 are guaranteed spots, that's not a good, smart decision. I don't care if it is Park or if it's Jarrett. Whoever is at fault here is a complete and utter fool at this stage of the race. On board with 25, Steve Park.
It looks like...
I think you could see there that... Yeah, I think you can see the 2 car come down a little bit there.
Yeah, not a well-timed move from Jarrett. We'll take a look with him as well. See if he saw anything different.
No, he's just turning into them.
I think we call that going for a gap, which was not there, to say the least.
I mean, there's not even a gap there. He just straight up turned down into Steve Park. Did we see anything in testing between Park and Jarrett? Because I think that might be something to look at now.
Oh, man. And then the 91. The 91 to Dick Trickle here. He was the unfortunate victim. He's racing along. These 3 get involved, and he just clips the 4, sends him spinning. It's not a lot of damage, it looks like, to the 91 car, but still, that... You know, the 91 is a go-or-go homer. He needs to qualify top 18 or better. That's not going to help, to say the least.
Especially for someone like Trickle who struggled mightily last year. You know, you really need to have these good performances when you have the chance, and you immediately start the duels in a wreck on lap number 1. Not good at all. So, normally, we would go straight to commercial after caution comes up, I think this time we should take a moment to look over the whole field, because we only had time to look over the top 10 starting spots. So let's take a look at how we are right now, I believe. So Derek Cope is the race leader ahead of Morgan Shepherd in the 88. That's the 14 of Jack Sprague, the 7 of Ernie Irvin, the 6 of Jeff Gordon, the 83 of Bobby Hamilton, the 29 of Randy LaJoy, the 42 of Sterling Marlin, the 1 of Kevin Harvick, the 31 of John Andretti is the top 10. Moving on to the second half, or, well, not the second half yet, but going through the rest of the top half, Juan Maria Traverso, I believe it's how you pronounce it, is in 11th in the 44 car. 12th, we have the 11 of Mike Skinner. 13th, the 87 of Joe Nemechek, and rounding out the top half of the field is the 21 of Bobby Labonte. Now moving on to the second half, we have the 98 of Bill Elliott, the 37 of Johnny Benson Jr., 26 of Jeremy Mayfield, the 95 of Rick Mast, the 71 of Ron Barfield Jr., the 13 of League Speed. That's the top 20, and then the final 8 cars in the field, the 90 of Blaze Alexander, the 8 of Tony Stewart, the 72 of Andy Hillenberg, the 91 of Dick Trickle, the 25 of Steve Park, the 27 of Rick Corelli, and the 2 of Dale Jarrett. And then you can see the 4 of Jeff Burton there as well. He's coming up to the back of the field here. And yeah, an eventful start to the season, won't you say, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have enough. I thought we were going to have enough events with everything, talking about everything that happened in the off season. No, they decided to go ahead and wreck on lap 1, steal all the thunder from the off season. But the good news is, though, for these guys, barring their little silly incident, is that they're pretty much fine. Actually, both of them, the 2 and the 4, are in by qualifying time, so they can fall back on that if they need to.
Yeah, so, they don't exactly have to worry, considering that front. And with some people, you're also really high up in others' points, and you've got to think someone like a Hamilton and a Gordon, they're going to finish top 18. You don't have to worry about them having to take a provisional. So, if you're up in the top 15 in others' points, you can relax a little bit, but don't get too relaxed, because it could very easily go south very quickly, considering 10 cars are going to be missing from this duel.
Exactly, and once we get to the later half of the duel here, I think this group is probably going to be the one that we're going to really be watching. It's around 18th position is held by the 95 of Rick Mast. Rick Mast does not have many owner's points. He is 39th overall. Then behind him, he's got Barfield, Speed, and Alexander. All 3 of those guys are go-or-go homers. Tony Stewart is almost considered a go-or-go homer. He did post the 30th fastest qualifying time, but it's going to be a heck of a challenge for him. But before we start worrying about that, though, let's take a moment to shout out Tony Stewart, not only for winning the Indy Racing League Championship in 1997, but also reuniting two names from the 90s, Stavola Brothers Racing and Buick. Buick won the 1988 Daytona 500 here with Bobby Allison, if I have my notes correctly. And they last raced together in 1991. So here we are in 1998. Stavola Brothers is back with Buick and an IndyCar champion. So, heck of a pairing there. For the number 8, they are one of 2 new manufacturers. Roush Racing choosing this year to go all the way over to Lexus, bringing Lexus to the sport for the first time. And we'll see all 4 of their cars. They're running the same schemes as last year, but with new Buick plating. Sorry, Lexus plating. Goodness me.
Well, as well as that, you know, the 99 not in this dual rookie run, they actually have a brand new paint scheme. They have sponsorship coming in from Red Hat as part of the partnership with Lexus, so new sponsor there at Roush Racing. But lights are out on the pace car. We'll be going green with 15 laps to go here in duel number 1. And let's hope we can get more than getting to turn 3 on 1 lap of green flag racing.
Yeah, and let's hope this is not as hard a task as they seem to make it, you know? So give it, like, you know, it's your first few laps on the season after a long off season, and just got to get everything shaken down. Hopefully now we're all ready to go back racing. So your top 5 once again: Derek Cope in the 3, Morgan Shepherd in the 88, Jack Sprague in the 14, Ernie Irvin in the 7, and Jeff Gordon in the 6 car.
Oh boy. 15 laps, Michael. Not a lot of time. It's going to be a sprint. You know it's going to get crazy real quick, as if it hasn't already.
And I think the main thing I'm going to be concerned about, if you're in the back half of the field, don't lose the lead pack. You know, it does. You know, it's not fun being in that 3 wide chaos as we saw, but if you lose the lead pack, then that could absolutely kill your chances. And here we go again, lap number 6 of 20. Gordon didn't exactly get a good start. He's holding up the 83 and the 29. Both of them tried to jump out of line to get past him, but Gordon's going to hold on for now.
See the 7 and the 29 making progress. Ernie Irvin up into 3rd. That's last year's Daytona 500 winner. Up to 3rd here in duel number 1. Behind the 88 and the 3. Randy LaJoy trying to make progress. And now Irvin trying to go for 2nd on Morgan Shepherd. Look at him go. The 7 of Ernie Irvin.
Irvin's picking up right where he left off in the last Daytona race here. Up to 2nd. Good shot to go for the lead. Here he goes to the inside. Gordon's trying to get underneath him, though. Let's go 3 wide for the lead.
Oh, here we go. Only took 1 lap. We're already 3 wide. How could this possibly go wrong?
Gordon's got 2 pushers on the inside with him. 3 is going to do better against 1. Cope goes a little bit wide. Irvin on the outside lane, not the preferred lane. He's going to lose 2 spots there. Jeff Gordon takes the lead. Randy LaJoy takes 2nd.
Here comes the 42 of Marlin, and LaJoy is looking right to the inside of the 6. Can't get a run just yet. See the pack starting to splinter there in the back part of the field as well, which is not what you want to have happen in a race like this. 3 cars off pace, 91. I think that's a 91, 4, and 27, as Marlin going to try and take 2nd place from the 29.
They are absolutely going for it right now. Every lap is going to count. But especially still that last one. Look here, we've got a 2nd group here coming. That's Juan Maria Traverso in the 44 with Bill Elliott.
Elliott giving a push to the 44. You see a few cars now moving to the inside. The 95 of Rick Mass as well in the back half of the field here. And you can see there just how splintered the pack is getting. They're going really single file there in the back. And it's starting to become a lot more lenient in the back, which is not what you want to see if you're someone who needs to go up and take those positions yourself.
These guys up in the front are getting very quick lessons here in learning how to block. All these 3 are doing a really good job at it. You know, take the wider entry and then shut the door right before the inside lane to go and get any sort of an advantage. That's Morgan Shepherd, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Gordon up here. But here's Juan Maria Traverso down the backstretch.
And there's Sterling Marlin as well, going to try and take the lead in the 42. Trying to get the lead here in duel number 1. Coming up on 11 laps to go, and Sterling Marlin now takes the lead. I want to go take a look at the back part of the field there. I want to see how slow some of the cars in the back are. Here's the 27, the 91, and the 4. They're decently okay, all things considered. there will not be any shenanigans regarding disqualifications for cars being slow. If that's something that we had planned to do, we are not going to do that. It's something we had planned to do later in the season. We're not going to do it here because this is a duel race. Every spot matters to make your way into the Daytona 500. So if you're off pace, you're going to stay in no matter what, and that's going to be really important, especially if we have a big accident, which is likely to happen at some point potentially.
Yeah, that's the only saving grace right now for Dick Trickle and Rick Corelli. These two are go homers. Blaise Alexander starting to fall off the pace as well. And then there were 24 cars.
Traverso for the lead!
Can't leave these guys alone for 1 second. Let's go 3 wide for the lead.
Led that lap. He led that lap by 4 1/1000ths. But now Bill Elliott's taking it. He's pushed by Ernie Irvin, and then the 87 of Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely mean. If they can gang you up on the inside, they will absolutely do that. And we've seen that already several times in just a few laps. And look at this. The whole field is 3 wide now. And they are getting way too close together.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, no, Ernie Irvin!
Look out.
Oh, and there it goes. Big crash in the back half of the field.
Let's go, Alexander!
And we'll catch up to the caution flag.
Oh,
Rick
no.
Mast leads from 9th to 1st.
Did those guys in the back take it? Those guys in the back go through the record where they out. There's the 83 of Hamilton. He's got heavy damage. A 91 slow, a 27 slow. A 4 has damage. Oh my goodness. Everything I said earlier just got jinxed. Good Lord.
They were a little more aggressive in testing, but goodness me. Well, they're 3 wide. It's not a good sign. Ernie Irvin goes up to block Traverso, tries to come back down. He is not clear. And half the field is victim. Oh, there's these 3. Oh! That's where the damage came from.
Oh, yep. See that, and that's just not good for all 3 of those guys, considering how it could have been. They needed to get through that wreck clean, because there's a very real chance some of these cars are going to fall out the race here.
And Burton thought he was going to be clear, and was not.
Now, I think I am extremely worried for our reigning champion, Bobby Hamilton, Michael. That was heavy damage on the 83 car.
Yeah, look at that. The whole front of the car's all busted up. Back half of the car feels busted up. Not a good sign for the 83 car. We'll check in with him in just a second. We've still got at least 1 or 2 more angles to look at. Because, you know, why not have a big incident in duel number 1? You know, just...
Only halfway through, even. We were coming up on 9 laps to go.
And the whole field, yeah, scatters here. Gordon, Labani. So, I think, what, maybe 8 cars got through that? Unscathed?
Probably more like, I think, maybe 10 at best. Very, very big wreck here to start off this season. That's 2 wrecks now in Duel 1, and we may have a few cars out of the race. We'll go ahead and get it sorted. We're on 9 laps to go here on Duel number 1. We're going to take a quick break to get everything sorted, and we'll be right back here at Duel number 1 in Daytona.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1998 NR2003 Draft Series at Daytona, Duel number 1. And 2 cautions, and finally the hammer came down for 2 drivers. Bobby Hamilton had to retire from the race because of the accident damage, and the lap before, just the lap before, Andy Hillenberg had an engine failure, leaving him to come down pit road and ending his chances to make the Daytona 500. So as we come back, 26 cars still remain. Several of them with damage, Back five especially, Labonte, Harvick, Gordon, Carelli, and Trickle and Burton. And up front, it is Rick Mast in the 95, Joe Nemechek second, Morgan Shepherd third, John Andretti fourth, and Derek Cope fifth.
And that's not even the most important battle right now, because realistically, finishing doesn't really matter as long as you're top 18. Because we rerun qualifying before the Daytona 500. Right now, 18th place is currently occupied by, it was the 14, but now it's moved up to the 7 of Ernie Irvan. Marlin and Park are just outside. They're going to have to try and move up in these final 5 laps. As here we go, pace car will come on. Rick Mast has the field.
In a field of Corvettes, he is a Monte Carlo.
I mean, his teammates do drive Corvettes. He's the only Monte Carlo at RCR. Here comes Shepherd, looking for second place on Nemechek already.
Looky there. The 95 of Rick Mast is looking for his teammates. They are trying to move their way quickly through the field. They're past the 87 of Nemechek. Up to third and fourth. Johnny Benson trying to make it 3 wide back here.
4-car off pace. 42 is now behind the 25. I think the 25 is battling 7 for 18th place.
And we've got about 6 cars in the back there that have lost the pace already. Coming to the stripe this time, 18th position is the 25 of Steve Park.
So it might be between Park, Irvin, and Marlin. These guys are slower than the rest of the field, it seems. This is going to be a very interesting end to the turn that makes the Daytona 500 like this.
Yeah, that last spot. Because Park's pretty fast.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I just looked at the ticker. That's an RCR 123 on the ticker last time by.
Not the case right now, but it was good while it's lasted for RCR. Tony Stewart is up to 4th. Looking to make his first Daytona 500 in his first start. Look at there.
He's going to make it. He was good. Almost made it 3 wide for second. He's going to get to the inside. No, wait.
Whoa.
Oh, he is really slow. What just happened? That, I don't trust that.
I don't know what happened there. I think he might have gotten a little bit too far onto the apron. Had to check up. Whatever it is, it's allowed these guys to go and drive right away. Uh-oh. No, I think something's wrong with the 8 car.
Something's very wrong. That is abnormally so. We saw how quickly the 2 car got past. This is not good, and we're coming up on 2 laps to go. The 25 is in this pack. I think 19 cars are in this pack, Michael.
20.
20! There's 20! Oh, no! So right now the 90 holds the final spot. Alexander! Now it goes to the 42 of Marlin.
The back 2 in this group are in a fight for their lives, but there's 4 more cars coming.
Here comes a lot more cars. Tony Stewart's holding up everyone. Here comes Gordon. 3 wide.
It is not over until it's over.
Here comes Harvick. Don't wreck now.
Oh, Stewart's coming to pit
Stewart's
road.
Gonna pit. Stewart's pitting. That's it for Stewart. Stewart's done. He's not going to make the 500. We're on the final lap of duel number 1. Here we go. 90. Blaze Alexander holds the final spot.
They are 3 wide in this dogfight. Caught up a lot more cars. 18th last time around was Blaze Alexander, but he's got the 6 and the 42.
Well, no, the 25 is in the top 18. 25 is the last spot. I think. I don't know who's going to make it. Here comes the 42 2. The race is over. Rick Max won duel number 1. Coming to the stripe. Here we go to determine who qualifies for the Daytona 500 in the final spot. Blaise Alexander!
Blaise Alexander
is in the Daytona 500.
I'm sorry, Rick Mass, that we didn't capture the win as it happened, but it was absolute insanity in the back half of the field here.
What in the hell just happened, Michael? Let's go take a look back at the final lap from the leader's perspective, because we did not look at it in the slightest. So here we are starting the final lap. Derek Cope leads it, and now Mass into turn 1 goes for the lead. There's only 4 cars in this pack even.
And all three of them are RCRs. And Mass, he's battling alone. On the outside, he's going to get help from Johnny Andretti. Johnny Benson Jr. in 4th. And these two go right on by their teammate, Derek Cope. Cope won the first duel last year.
You can see the 37 as well, moving on up. He's going to take 3rd place here before this is all said and done. But it's Rick Mast who ends up winning duel number 1 here at Daytona. And you can see there Tony Stewart exiting the pits. What even happened to Stewart?
Yeah, that's the other question. He was in such a good spot.
Our reports say he took 4 tires and fixed damage. Did he have a tire blowout, or at least start, like, blowing out at this moment here?
Oh.
Yeah, look how quickly he slowed down. You've got to think he had a flat, but trying to stay out, and eventually became too much to bear for Tony Stewart.
And that's really unfortunate. Front right.
I'm not seeing any real indicator that anything is flat, but you never know. We didn't get word from Stewart or Stavola what had happened.
Yeah, see if we can get a different view of the car here.
I mean, it looks like it's bouncing a little bit on that right front, but no easy way to tell for sure.
Whatever.
And you can tell it's not driving right, obviously.
Yeah, whatever the case, that's a really unfortunate end for the 8 of Tony Stewart.
Wow.
And then, yeah, this is where he held everyone up.
And this is basically what gave Harvick a chance to get in. I cannot believe that. So let's go back and take one more look at your top 18 from duel number 1. So your top 18 finishers are Rick Mast, John Andretti, Johnny Benson Jr., Derek Cope, Bill Elliott, Lake Speed, Mike Skinner, Joe Nemechek, Dale Jarrett, Juan Maria Traverso, Randy LaJoy, Jack Sprague, Morgan Shepard, Jeremy Mayfield, Ron Barfield Jr., Steve Park, Ernie Irvin, and Blaise Alexander. Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Kevin Harvick, Dick Trickle, Rick Corelli, Jeff Burton, Tony Stewart, Andy Hillenberg, and Bobby Hamilton all missed the show from here, but we already know Hamilton and Gordon, they have the provisional. So now it moves over to Dale Earnhardt. If Dale Earnhardt qualifies, the last provisional goes to the next best, which could it be 4th in points? Whoever was 4th in points at the end of last season, I have to pull that up. I haven't found it yet.
The 4 is going to take a qualifying provisional. I know that. He was one of the top 4.
Oh my goodness. What in the world?
This is some really... Everybody who is outside 18th right now is really going to be looking concerned. We'll go ahead. we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back to you and tell you how the situation is for when we start duel number 2, right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1998 NR2003 Draft Series here from Daytona International Speedway. We've just completed Duel 1, and it is quite absolutely insane what we have witnessed so far. There were 2 incidents that we saw in the first half there, and after it was all said and done, we already have 3 drivers ready to take provisionals to get themselves into the 500.
Yeah, it's an interesting start already. Like, obviously, with Hamilton and Gordon missing on owner's point, they're getting in via owner's points. Jeff Burton getting in off of his qualifying time. And there's just a whole lot of stuff that's happened here already that everything's already gone to hell. And we haven't even started the second duel race. And it can only get worse from here. Really.
But we're hoping it does not. And the last thing we want to mention here, the qualifying time is on a slider, so with Jeff Burton having to take his provisional, and the next 2 guys walking into the field, that's Juan Maria Traverso and the 88 of Morgan Shepherd, the last qualifying provisional right now would go to Kevin Harvick in the number 1. He was the 7th fastest qualifier overall.
Oh, do we have Schrader and Sadler both in this one?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, if one of those 2 makes it via top 18, Kevin Harvick is in the Daytona 500. If both of them make it, Rich Bickle is locked into the Daytona 500 if he does not qualify on the top 18. If he makes it, it goes to Mark Martin, then Derek Cope, then Jeremy Mayfield, which Mayfield, I believe, might be at risk.
Mayfield made it in.
No, he is not. Mayfield made it in. Yeah, look, like I said, this is difficult to keep track of. It is so hard to come up with the right stuff to say at the right moment, especially when you're trying to keep track of so many moving parts. So I apologize for that.
Yeah. For now, let's focus on what's right ahead of us right now. Duel number 2. This is the even numbers of owners' points through the years. Let's go through the starting lineup of them now. Row number 1 is the 43 of Dale Earnhardt alongside the 99 of Ricky Rudd. Row number 2 is the 5 of Ron Hornaday Jr. and the 33 of Terry Labonte. Row number 3 is the 24 of David Green and the 22 of Mark Martin. Row number 4 is the 48 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Ken Schrader. And round out your top 10, rookie Rich Bickle and the 73 of Ricky Craven.
Moving on to our second part of the field here, rows 6 through 10. You'll see row number 6 is Michael Waltrip starting alongside Rusty Wallace. Row 7 is Ward Burton and Hermie Sadler. Hermie Sadler is locked into the Daytona 500 via qualifying, but he can race his way in to move that provisional to someone else. Row number 8, we see Tom Bodine starting next to Robbie Gordon. Row 9 is Mike Bliss and Elliott Sadler. Rounding out the top 20 is Mike McLaughlin and Ted Musgrave.
And let's look at those last 8 cars now. That is in 21st, Lyndon Amick, who last year, we didn't pick up on this, but he set the record for the youngest qualifier in the Daytona 500 at 19 years old. Let's see if he can do it again, enter his second year at just 20. He'll be starting next to the 35 of Kenny Wallace. Then behind him in 23rd, John Force from NHRA alongside the 9 of Kenny Irwin Jr., teammate 2 champion Bobby Hamilton. Then it's Sammy Swindell and the 23 of Hill Parsons. And right out of your field, it's the 78 of Steve Grissom and the 00 of Buckshot Jones.
Well, you skipped over a row there, row number 13 you skipped over, 75 of Sammy Swindell and the 23 of Hill Parsons, I believe.
Start your engines.
But it's all accounted for. We actually got it through this time. We didn't only look at the top 10 before starting, so it's all good. We are moving. Cars are fired, and we are rolling for the second duel of 20 laps here at Daytona.
Hoping they can race a little bit more cleaner. But definitely we're going to have to look at the 36 here. Because he's in by qualifying provisional, but if he finishes top 18, Rich Bickle's going to think he's the greatest guy. In case Rich Bickle falls out of the top 18. And we'll go down the list and tell you what, we'll have everything for you at the conclusion of the duels. For now, let's focus on who's in the top 18 and who's going to win the second race of 1998. Dale Earnhardt on the front row with Ricky Rudd, ready to get it underway. Here comes duel number 2.
Already, you see Ron Hornaday Jr. trying to take the lead from Dale Earnhardt. Not even halfway through lap 1, and we have a new leader here.
Yeah, he tried to go up high and then block down in the front, but the 5 was already there. And here comes the 24 and the 48. Hello, Hendrick. 1, 2, 3. Before we even get to
3 wide. At least they didn't wreck on lap 1.
That's a good start. Now we just got to do that a few more times. It's coming across the stripe. It is still Hendrick 1, 2, 3, Ron Hornaday Jr., David Green, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
28, Rich Bickle up in 4th place, and then 5th place, the 18 of Michael Waltrip, 17, Ward Burton right behind. And we are going. Here comes the 28, here comes the 18. They're going to work together, try and get past the Hendrick Brigade on the outside line. And fail miserably. Oh, but Earnhardt's going to abandon his teammate.
David Green got shuffled out there. It's going to allow the 28 and the 18 slot in, get a good run. The 28 of Bickle take it a little bit early, though. Well, he was just absolutely abandoned by everyone around him. Lone car on the inside, but he still might prevail. Looking for help here from the 17 Ward Burton.
See a lot of shuffling through the field here, but it's a lot more calm compared to how Duel 1 was. They say if one duel is chaos, the other one is calm and vice versa. This might be our calm one here, hopefully. I know as soon as I said that, they're gonna wreck now. It's a guarantee.
I anticipate still.
Let's just hope it takes some time.
It's definitely going to get more spicy, though, as the race goes on, especially around that battle for 18th. Ward Burton's going to get shuffled out here. He's got a whole train of cars on the inside, ready to go right on by him. There's 1, there's 2. Earnhardt back on the inside, in the middle of this train. This train's going to go and abandon the 18, put him 3 wide. Oh, man.
Okay, they're fine. They get so close together when they're 3 wide like that in turn 3. It's so nerve-wracking. I can only imagine how it feels for the drivers out here. I think I saw 1 or 2 cars losing the lead pack for a moment.
We'll take a look back here. That is Steve Grissom. Looks like he's starting to lose the draft. Buckshot Jones barely hanging on. Not what either two of them need. They want to make the field today for the Daytona 500.
No, I think that was that the 23? Was that the...
No, 23 is
that was
in the group.
Wait, who even, wait. Where does Steve Grissom drive? Oh, he drives the 78. It is that kind of night for me, dog. It's been a long day.
Happy New Year. Ron Hornaday up front. Hermie Sadler making the provisional question easy by currently in by residing in third place. Tried to go on the outside for second. Doesn't look like it's going to work for him. But it is Chevrolet, Lexus, Pontiac. A sentence we're going to have to get used to through the year.
You can see another Lexus there on the inside, the 16 of Mike McLaughlin.
Oh, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. No!
Uh-oh.
Ricky Craven. Oh, and upside down. Goes the 24. And we got another car upside down. Steve Grissom involved. And the 35 is spinning like a top. Never speak of karma again.
What just happened? What just happened?
Ricky Craven. They get so close. McLaughlin goes up into the 73. And that's what causes this. 73 damage.
I don't even know what just happened to half of these cars. Kenny Wallace is doing a disco move. He's breakdancing in the car. You're tumbling down turn 4. That car is done. He's not making the Daytona 500. I saw the 78 involved. David Green went for a tumble in the 24 car, courtesy of his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I think we can definitely call this as abrupt chaos. Let's ride on board here with Robbie Gordon to see what his view of everything was. I think the 16 went for a lane that was not there, once again.
I mean, it's the same problem with what happened earlier with Dale Jarrett and Steve Park. McLaughlin just turned up into the 73. He just washed up into him. There was absolutely no or he washed up into the 24 and then lost control from there into the 73. Like, I don't even understand what the plan was for a McLaughlin.
Like, I mean, look at the speeds they're carrying into the corner. We see it here in the still 190, 192 miles an hour. And it's like, you want to hold that bottom as much as you can. But if you have the wrong angle, the wrong speed, any sort of wrong trajectory, you're going to slide up the track and cause something like this. Because there's McLaughlin getting into Craven. And the 24, that isn't... The 16's fine. Absolutely amazing that the 24 didn't suffer much worse damage than that. And then everyone else with nowhere to go just has to barrel in. Let's take a look at what caused the 35 to go upside down. So as the crash is happening here, he just stacks up. John Force clips him and he just gets airborne. That's the strangest way I've seen a car go airborne.
How did the 78 go spinning? I want to see how the 78 got involved with that wreck. That was irregular from that one. I saw the 75 of Sammy Swindell involved as well. 78 wasn't even in the lead pack. So here's Steve Grissom in the 78.
He's slowing down.
And what was the goal? You can see the 73 Ricky Craven, that engine has gone up in flames effectively. He's out of this race. So yeah, what is Steve Grissom?
I'm sorry, Grissom. I don't think I can... I don't got anything for him. No, I just... Couldn't have gone a little bit more up. I don't know.
Well, this has been a complete and utter mess already to start Duel. What is happening here? I think it defies the laws of physics, Michael. Okay, you know what? I think we all need a break after that one. Ron Hornaday Jr. lead. We're coming up on 13 to go. We'll be back at some point soon. I need a drink. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1998 NR2003 Draft Series from Daytona. We have 3 retirees from that latest incident: the 73 of Ricky Craven, the 35 of Kenny Wallace, and the 24 of David Green. And right now, Kenny Wallace doesn't look like he's going to make the 500. Neither Craven and even David Green is in serious trouble.
Yeah, Wallace is already out. He's confirmed out. He will not be making the race. Craven is going to need a miracle at best if he wants to qualify. And then David Green is basically hinging on Terry Labonte, Ken Schrader, and Hermie Sadler. If Sadler and Schrader make it, that moves their 2 provisionals down through the field. If Labonte makes it, he doesn't take up the owner's points provisional. So either way, Green has to rely on provisionals, and we're going to have 10 laps to go here when we get to the green, with Ron Hornaday Jr. leading over Sadler, Schrader, Rudd, and Martin.
Ready to start the second half of what we can just call chaos. No more duels, it's just chaos. Here we go. Five and 36, off to a good start. Here comes Hermie Sadler, looking to the inside of the 5. Everybody's already trying to make moves. They've seen what's happening, and I don't think anybody's anybody's friend right now.
If I were Schrader and Sadler, and even Terry Labonte, to be completely honest, right now I would get out of the main pack entirely. It is not safe here for anyone involved in this race.
Yeah, we're still coming up to almost 190 miles an hour with how close they are racing. Hermie Sadler, that time around, leads it. We're going to take our eyes to the back half of the pack here. There's a couple of cars. Steve Grissom, well off the pace.
Oh, it's like 30 miles an hour slower.
I think the only thing that's saving him right now is
Oh,
the fact
Labonte's
that
also slow.
Labonte's very slow as well.
God.
Junior's starting to fall off.
Oh my god.
Bliss, Force, a little bit. 18th right now is Lyndon Amick.
He's battling Sammy Swindell. Imagine saying to someone that Buckshot Jones, Lyndon Amick, and Sammy Swindell will be battling for a spot 500. What is happening?
Only in the Draft Series. Only in the Draft Series.
Also, you just got word, I believe, this is not fully confirmed, but I believe Sterling Nolan is out of the Daytona 500 following that last incident. That just came across from one of our stats people.
Meanwhile, this field is once again 3 wide. And they have not been able to race without incident today, to say the least.
I'm not... I don't think this is going to end without incident, Michael. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think this is going to be good. We still have 7 laps to go. It's Hornaday leading over Waltrip and Bickle. Wallace makes it 3 wide for Peace, pushed by Robbie. And it's all gone to hell. The battle for the transfer spot. Sammy Swindell is currently in the Daytona 500.
Here's Bobbitt.
Waltrip for the lead.
Waltrip. Waltrip, Hornaday, Bickle, and Rusty Wallace, your top 4. 5th, Robbie Gordon. And Mike McLaughlin in 6th. The reason why half the field is missing.
Dale Earnhardt up here as well. He's 3 wide with Sadler and Rudd. With 23 of Phil Parsons giving a push to Earn.
If you like underdogs, today is your day. I think we can put it another way. Oop, Earnhardt.
Look out!
And
I
they
thought
are.
Dale was going to clear himself off the 23. That would have been horrible.
There's only 5 more laps to go. If I were the field, I would go single file. All of these guys are in as of now. The fight for the final spots is back here. Lyndon Amick going for 17th on the inside of Sammy Swindell. Ward Burton, Buckshot Jones, the only other drivers with a shot left.
Wait, how far away is the 78 and 33?
They are gone.
Wait, oh no, they're like 2 turns ahead. Oh no! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh no! Help! Here comes Rob Wallace for the lead!
This is probably the most insane duel I think you're ever going to see, guys. I know it's the most insane I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like this. This is complete insane. You can see the 78 in the way ahead of the field. Rusty Wallace trying to take the lead from Michael Wall. The 94 Schrader and the 23 of Parsons on the inside. I think the 38 has given up. He's back. He's not dealing with this anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame Musgrave for this. There's about 10, 12 cars here, and they're about to catch the 78. The 78 is still in. He's still trying to qualify, holding on for a disaster. But if he is the disaster, well, I think we're going to be less lenient with NASCAR is going to be less lenient with lap cars through the season.
I want to see the battle for the transfer now. We're under 3 laps to go. Right now, 18th is occupied by Swindell. Burton in 17th. He's about to get passed up here, potentially by Sammy Swindell. 2 of these 4 will miss the Daytona 500. Oh no.
The battle for 18th might not matter if something happens to one of these guys up front as we come to 2 to go. Phil Parsons, your leader. But for how long? Oh, he got 94 into the wall, but he still passed everyone. Ken Schrader. What a move.
What a move. Mike Schrader. How the hell did he save that?
Wrong equation, right answer.
And now the 78's holding up the rest of the field. Need to watch out here. Coming to the white flag, this time by as well.
The 94 of Ken Schrader.
Ken Schrader way out front. Here we go, last lap here at Daytona for Duel 2. Where's the 33 in all of this?
As they came to the white flag that time, Sammy Swindell held the last spot over Ward Burton and Buckshot Jones. And look how far out the 94 got. Here comes the 30, Rusty Wallace.
We'll check on the battle for the transfer in a moment. Here's the battle for the win in duel number 2. Rusty Wallace down to the inside of Ken Schrader. No help for the 30, but he's still going to try and surge ahead. Waltrip behind the 94 of Schrader. We're going to come out at turn number 4. Waltrip back to the bottom to push to number 30. They're coming to the checkered flag, and I think it's going to be Rusty Wallace who wins duel number 2. Will run back to the back here and go to 18th place, and the final spot, I believe, is Sammy Swindell. He's in, so I think it's the 17 of Ward Burton. Steve Grissom nearly ruined everything there. It's heartbreak for Lyndon Amick and Buckshot Jones. Oh my goodness.
And Buckshot Jones, Lyndon Amick are going home. John Force, Mike Bliss. We'll have to see about Dale Earnhardt Jr., that is.
We wait and see. I believe Terry Labonte has claimed the final owner's points provisional. So we will get everything sorted out. And then in just a moment, we will officially announce the DNQs for the Daytona 500. And then we will prepare ourselves for next upload, the Daytona 500. But before that, we'll be right back, and we'll come on back with the results and who is qualifying for the Daytona 500.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1998 NR2003 Draft Series. We have completed the second duel, and you want to talk about the duels, throwing everything for a ringer. It's been thrown into the blender, thrown off a cliff, and thrown into 3 more black holes just for good comparison. I think that's the best way we can actually put this.
And then it was thrown down a barrel in Niagara Falls.
Yep. So let's take a look. Your provisionals from their qualifying times: Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, Bobby Labonte, David Green. Your owner's points provisionals: Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Gordon, and Terry Labonte. They will make up the bottom. They will make up the rest of the 43 car field. And this is everybody who we're sending home: Sterling Marlin, Dick Trickle, Rick Carelli, Tony Stewart, Andy Hillenberg, Buckshot Jones, Lyndon Amick, John Force, Mike Bliss, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Probably one of the most surprising DNQs that I think we could probably ever see.
You've got 2 names here that stick out like a sore thumb: Dale Jr. and Sterling Marlin. That is just... Imagine telling someone coming into this race weekend, Michael, that you would not see Sterling Marlin, Dale Jr. in the Daytona 500. Actually, yeah, Craven as well is someone that you could also say is a big surprise here, you know? 2 of those 3, Marlin, Earnhardt, and Craven, they won a race last year. Marlin was the only one that did, and Earnhardt won, I think, twice. It's a unique system, and because of that, Dale Jr.'s going home.
And on the flip side of that, there are a lot of entries who managed to make it into the 500 who I think definitely were long shots. We saw this in Duel 1. Rick Mast won the duel. That was a really good job there for the 95 car. You saw it was a blank red car. He's not coming in with much sponsorship, so that's an absolutely stellar run for the 95. Then we had some other guys. Lake Speed managed to qualify in through the duels. That was good. That car was the 92 last year, and that car only made 3 races. Juan Maria Traverso, this is his first foray into American stock car racing, and he got into the 500 through the duels, so really good job there. Ron Barfield Jr. in the 71. And then Blaise Alexander in the 90. I think Blaise was probably one of the largest long shots in the entire field. We've got definitely a few more. Phil Parsons, Kenny Irwin Jr., Rich Bickle, Elliott Sadler, Sammy Swindell. The man from Sprint Cars made the 500. So a lot of teams are going to be celebrating.
There are so many stories here of just how insane some of these drivers qualifying are. Like we said, Rick Mast winning this duel. Insane result for him. Lake Speed in that 2019. He had a horrible crash back at Atlanta to end off 1997, and yet he's still here. He's still running, and he damn near got a top 5 in Duel 1. Ron Barfield Jr. is a huge surprise. Jeremy Mayfield missed this race last year. He's going to have a championship. Blaze Alexander, as we said, the biggest long shot in the entire field to some, although maybe not as big as some would say for Sammy Swindell, coming over from the World of Outlaws. Completely different form of racing. He hasn't run NASCAR since 1995 when he ran the Truck Series. And you've also got drivers like Phil Parsons making the field, Robbie Gordon, Elliott Sadler. And you have people like Dale Jr., Sterling Martin, Ricky Craven missing out because of it. It's just unbelievable all the way around. And if you think this was insane, what do you think's going to happen next time out in the Daytona 500?
It is going to be such a blend of drivers. We have drivers who haven't made much competitive starts versus very experienced veterans, and I hope they race a little bit cleaner than they did during these duels, with it going to be a 60-lap race compared to a 20-lap race. And I just know that if they keep this kind of aggression up, it is going to be one roller coaster of a year. That's I think the best way to put it. If we haven't gone through enough roller coasters already through what we've seen through the duels, including 2 cars flipping. With all that, we can't give you your starting lineup yet because there's still one more qualifying session that they're going to host before the Daytona 500. But we know our field of 43, who they're going to be. We'll have the starting lineup for you when we get to the Daytona 500 coming up. And when it comes around, we'll be there for all 60 laps of the 39th running of the Great American Race. Until then, we're signing off for now. For Darien Arnsdorff, I'm Michael Paz. This is the Draft Series. This is also Chaos. We will see you all next time for the Daytona 500. Bye-bye.